Good morning. Wanted to put together a nice, easy, slow flow to begin your morning. I do have a few props in the room with me. We have a strap, and if you don't have a yoga strap, you can use a bathroom or a bathrobe towel, a tie. A tie tends to be a little short, but it'll do in a pinch. Um, I have two blocks at the top of my mat, and I also have a large Zafu pillow or a yoga meditation, but you can use a couch pillow or even a pillow, from your room. Decorative pillows work well because they're firm like a bolster. We're going to start in a seated position, crisscross applesauce if available, and sit up nice and tall. And notice which leg is behind. I know I'm asking you to do things right at the get-go to think. Um, but notice this because this tends to be how you sit all the time. I tend to sit with the right leg back, left leg forward. It's just something to notice, and also something that we're going to shift from and change up so that you can feel the difference in when you change your dominant side to the non-dominant. A lot of times that feels a little quirky. So find that dominant right leg back or left leg back, whichever you are. Take the hands to the knees and just close into the eyes for just a moment to settle in, become present with the space. Notice your natural breath. It's probably very soft and easy. And then start to do a nice little body scan. Allow yourself to bring awareness all the way down to your toes. And as you bring that awareness down into your toes, notice how your feet feel, your ankles, your shins, your calves. And if you have a hard time doing that with just bringing the mind's eye awareness into these different parts of the body, you can always use your fingertips as a sensory little notification and awareness by touching, your calves, your shins, your knees, the quads, the hamstrings. They get so forgotten back here. Bring your awareness up into your hips. Take your thumbs into your hip creases. Feel into the hip creases. Bring awareness to your rib cage. You can even take the hands onto the sides of the ribs. Get your little wings flapping. And breathe into that. Notice how it feels to target the breath, to drive it to a location. Inhaling. Feel it expand into your hands. And if you have difficulty breathing through the nose, you can always breathe through the mouth. But it is kind of nice to try to, work on that in the morning. We tend to be maybe a little stuffy. Take the hands to the chest. Breathe into the space while you breathe into it all. And then bring awareness up through that space. Take it to the back of the body. Feel the spine. Notice if you're slouching, can you sit up a little bit straighter? Maybe take a slouch and sit up and notice what it feels like to lift up the chest. Feel the spine go long. Take the shoulders, roll them back. Notice the shoulder blades in the back of your body as they move, squeezing together, retraction, pulling apart, protraction. Notice the arms. Let them dangle at your side if available, or just plop them down on your lap. And then bring awareness into the throat and the neck. Roll the jaw around. Maybe yawn. And yawning is actually vastly underused to make you feel a little, all the liquids and the goos into your body. You can notice your eyes water. Roll your shoulders. It's not just a sign that you're tired. Yawning is actually really good to activate deep stretches for the body. All right, let's start moving the neck. Drop right ear to right shoulder. And then let's start to do some lazy circles. Roll the head around. Now, if you feel some crankiness or you start to feel some spaces that require a little bit more attention, please feel free to pause. Maybe let yourself hang for a little bit there. And then bring around the other direction once you've completed one nice circular roll. And then when the chin comes to chest, let yourself lay here for just a moment and notice the back of the neck. You can even take your fingers, run them along the cervical spine. Bring your thumbs maybe to the back of your neck. Nice little run along the edges, the outside, not on top. Up into the base of the head. And then keeping the fingers interlaced behind the back of the head, start to lay the head back into your palms. Maybe use your inhalation and exhalation to relax the body. So you inhale. And then as you exhale, relax the muscles. Allow the chest to open up a little bit more. You're going to start arching the spine, lifting the heart up. So you might start to feel some stretch in the thoracic, the middle upper back. Maybe you start to feel the muscles along the pecs, your chest, start to stretch a little bit more as the elbows start to open a little bit wider. Your core is going to naturally engage here. You'll start to feel the muscles of your belly tighten up. And then we're going to release, round the spine, drop the elbows in towards one another. Don't crank your hands on the back of your head. Just use it as a counter, like a little weight. Relax your shoulders. All right, come up. You're going to take your hands down, uncross the legs, plant the feet, a little bit of windshield wiper. It's a little wonky on a pillow, but I'm staying with it. My hips are cranky this morning. Left foot goes for me. So whatever foot was behind is now in front. And notice how that feels. Yes, it's a little wonky. Hands come to the knees. Just sit with this for a moment. Notice how that feels within the hips. It feels like maybe this leg is higher than it was because now it's in front. It's also a little bit different angle. So we're going to come into a side body stretch here. Reach the arms up and then take that stretch over to the side. Doesn't matter which, we'll get to both sides. Maybe the gaze goes up underneath the elbow, and maybe you can slide your shoulder blade back down into the middle of the back a little bit more. Breathe. And we're going to inhale, bring it up and over as we exhale. Take it to the other side. Oh, releasing that tension. My spine is still waking up. I don't know about yours. If this is at another part of your day, maybe you're just releasing some of the stress of work. So we are going to go ahead and come off of that pillow. If you like to use towels underneath the knees, what I do is I have 2 yoga mats. One yoga mat is crossed so where my knees and my hands can get a little bit extra padding. Just go ahead and work into a little bit of hip sway. cat cow. Now, I'm going to slow this cat cow down. I'm really going to drop the belly down and squeeze the shoulder blades together and then look up at the ceiling. Really pull the tailbone up. You're going to notice your stomach is engaging here. Exhale, push the earth away from you. Really retract those shoulders, spread the fingers, push down through the shins as though you're really trying to push the earth away from you. You're holding it, but you're not holding your breath. So if you're doing that, please breathe. And then coming through your next inhale, release, come into your cow. And exhale, push into your cat. Allowing the spine to go through flexion and extension. And then from here, if you have those blocks, I like to bring them to assist with the first toe crunch asana, bringing the knees together, curling the toes under. Maybe that's enough for you. Maybe just feeling the toes start to curl under. If you have stiff toes or you've had an injury to your toes, or maybe you've got a joint that has not been flexible due to bone as opposed to all the fun tendons and ligaments and good jujus that work our feet, the fascia along the bottom, the plantar fascia. Right. You can sit back onto your heels, reach back, make sure all the piggies are part of the party. I know with mine, my pinky toe likes to escape. And then I can use the blocks to help take some of the weight off of the body as I come into and get comfortable with the discomfort. I'm not going to lie. This is not like the pleasure palace of poses, but it is great for your feet to get some of this stretch through the toes, get some mobility in your big toes, your metatarsals, your tarsals, all the words, because I'm trying to distract you. And hopefully you're breathing nice, even inhalations and exhalations to distract the body from what's going on down there. Yeah, your toes are crunching. They're releasing. Try to soften. Try not to resist. Resistance creates stickiness and it causes it to be a little bit, I know it sounds counterintuitive, more uncomfortable than if you just relax and let it happen. And of course, you know, I could say this earlier in all this fun thing. You don't have to sit back on your heels. If it becomes too much, you can always release. Maybe only shift your hips back like you're doing a child's pose with the toes curled under. And then we're going to release and let yourself uncurl those toes. Give them a little tippy tap to the top of the mat. And then we are going to come into child's pose. So bring the big toes together, knees apart, push the hips back. If this is uncomfortable for your knees, you can always roll a towel or take that pillow and sit back on it. If you've got the block, you can always put the block back so that you have a place to come underneath the chest, to hold yourself up a little bit higher. There's always a modification. In some postures, you just find a way different modification, right? Like this one, you could be laying on your back and pulling your knees into your chest. So a supine variation. And I'm not coming down all the way. I'm just letting my hips sink back with my legs a little bit wider to accommodate my body to start to drop down in between the thighs. A little bit more stretch on the inside of the legs. And then let's rise up. Okay, so go ahead and place the blocks a little bit more forward onto the mat. Curl the toes under. Walk the hands back towards the knees. No, you're not doing Chokranasana. Relax. Knees come up as you rock back, and now you're on the balls of your feet. Rounded spine. Let yourself pause here for a moment. Feel the heels release down to the mat. You're going to start feeling some stretching maybe through your calves, the Achilles. And then walking the hands in even closer to the body. Drop the heels down. Keep the knees bent for some ragdoll. So you can always heel toe the feet a little bit wider. Let the chest come in towards the thighs. Take the hands to opposite elbows. And then relax the head, right? We're always holding our neck in such tension. Just let it go. A little yes, a little no. And then rounded spine, chin to chest. We're going to roll up to standing. Take the hands to the hips. Lift the right leg up. Roll that ankle around. Step that foot forward. Lift the left leg up. Roll that ankle around. You're rolling it. Notice how I got in a little standing balance already. Flop that left foot down. This time the right leg comes up. I'm going to face the camera. You're going to roll. Whoa. That's what happens when you try to move and balance at the same time, right? You make your body have to like do a whole lot more. You're just doing some nice little circles. Maybe open that leg out and come back. And if you're really weeble wobbling and you are just like, really, use the wall. The wall is your friend when it comes to balancing and building trust. Go ahead and do the other one. Your drishti, your gaze, right? What we look at affects the balance. So if you're finding, a little bit more instability, look at something that's not moving. Yay. Hold it out to the side. Yay. And go ahead and place that foot down. Coming all the way to the top of the mat. In fact, take a moment before we get there. So my strap is looped for use for other things. So it's going to be double, and that's fine. You can have the strap completely open. I'm just pointing out if you're looking at it and you're trying to figure out what's going on here. I have it together like this so that I can use it for full body holds, like for boat pose, restorative boat. I know, kind of funny to think of boat pose as restorative, but I can show you that near the end. But I'm going to take the strap between two hands. I'm going to reach my arms up into a Y, and I'm going to pull the arms back, opening up that chest even more. Pull onto the straps, and then pull the strap forward. All right, my hands are going to come wider on the strap. I'm going to inhale, reach the arms up. If you have had some sort of injury in the shoulder where you start to feel numbness, tingling, listen to your body. I'm not in it. It's not mine, it's yours. It's your ownership, right? This feels good for some, but not for all. Go as far as you can for yourself to open up the chest, to start to wake the shoulders up, that rotator, all the joints, movement that happens in the shoulder. I'm continuing to go back out even wider. The wider I get, the more I can actually start to reach the arms back while I maintain straight arms. Okay. Shoulder flossing is not for everyone. For those that enjoy it, it's a nice way to wake up the shoulders. For those that grit their teeth and feel a lot of tingling or pain, modify and stay up here. You're still getting the benefits of opening up the shoulder. You're going to come up to center, bring it down, bring those hands back to narrow, and side body stretch standing. So by using that bottom hand to pull the top arm and keep that top arm straight, you're adding a little bit more leverage into the stretch through the side body. Inhale up and exhale over to the other side. If you're just using a towel or a tie, you can get the same thing. But like I said, with some of the straps that aren't as long, you may run into running out of strap. So I'm going to lay this back down by the side. Going to come to the top of the mat. And from here, we are ready for a classical sun salutation. So you're going to inhale the arms up and over your head. Exhale, fold the body forward. I bend into my knees because of hamstrings. So don't feel like, you have to always come with straight legs, especially as we're warming the body up. I'm going to use the blocks. I'm in my runner's lunge, level 3 with the blocks. You can put your hands on the earth if you've got nice long arms. Accommodate as you need. And then we're going to release that right knee down into a nice low lunge. Try to stack the knee over the ankle so that you've got that nice base of support to be able to move back and forward. And then maybe you stay with your hands down on the floor, the blocks, the thigh. Or if available, reach the arms up and over your head. Take a nice little cactus. Exhale. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, cactus. Inhale up. Exhale, cactus. Inhale up. Release the hands down. I'm going to bring my blocks to a nice little flat level. Curl the toes under, slide the left foot back to the right. You're in plank pose. You can stay right here and hold, or you can lower all the way to the ground. Squeeze the shoulder blades, lift the chest for a nice little baby cobra. Exhale, release. Curl the toes under, push back on your knees. Lift the knees, come into downward facing dog. And for those of you that were holding plank that entire time, meet us in down dog. Okay, so we're going to take that right leg again, but now we're going to step it forward and step it up towards the block. The block gives you a little bit more space for the foot to come underneath the chest. Find that runner's lunge again. And then release the left knee down to the mat. Uncurl the toes. You can stay with the hands down and explore the hips, or you can reach the hands up to the thigh, roll the shoulders, reach the arms up. Let's take that cactus breath one more time. Exhale, squeeze the shoulder blades. Inhaling, reach the hands up. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, release the fingertips down to the block. Curl the toes under. This time, you're going to step that left foot to meet the right. Fold forward, straighten the legs as much as you can. This is also a great place for the blocks. They can come on level 3 in front of you. Allow you to bend the elbows, work a little bit more into that hamstring in the back. So you can inhale, hinge the hips, push them back. The spine is long. Exhale, fold again. Inhale, rise, reaching hands to the sky, feeling the extension of the armpits, opening up the chest, opening up the biceps, slide back towards the ears if available. And then release hands down to your sides. We're going to come and we're going to move through a little bit of a standing flow. So just a little fun. And then we'll meet back down on the ground to close out our session together. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back. Rise up, reach up. Exhale, hands to your hips. Hinge the hips a little bit like you're coming into a modification of chair pose. Root the weight into the right foot, root the weight into the left foot, float the right, and step the right foot back behind you. High lunge, reaching the arms up and over your head. At any time, you can modify with the hands down on your hips. We're going to twist our lunge, taking the right hand forward, left hand back. Nice and slow. We've worked a little bit on balance, so you should be tapping into a little bit of balancing as you are twisting your lunge. You can stay right here and work on this twist, or you can release that left hand down to the back leg and reach the right arm up towards the sky. Notice if you're lifting up out of the front leg, bend back into it. Straighten through that back leg as much as you can. Inhale, come to your arms as a T. Exhale, sweep up. Inhale, drop it, open to warrior two. Stay here, adjust your stance, look back and see what that back arm is doing. Line it up, looking forward and back. Arms are even in a T. Reverse your warrior, flipping the left hand, reaching the left hand up to the sky. See if all movement can come from the upper body. Keep the lower body rooted. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, extend. Left elbow comes to the front thigh, reaching the right arm up and over. Palms facing down in your side angle. Inhale, reach up, come back to warrior two. Straighten through the front leg. We're going to flip all 10 toes to face the side of the mat and fold it forward. Now I can see you again. Hello. So from here in this fold forward, your hands can come underneath your shoulders and just stay here. I'm going to come sideways on the mat. Seems a little rude. Hands can come underneath the shoulders. Or if you like to take this a little bit deeper, you probably are already there. If you're used to this posture, you walk the hands underneath the hips, bend the elbows. But this bend of the elbows is just a relax of the upper torso. Please try to see if you can do this with the quads and the hip flexors. If you haven't tried this, maybe even hover the fingers off the ground for a moment. Squeeze the quads, squeeze the torso in using the muscles of that lower body, and fold yourself forward without leverage. Then place the hands back down onto the mat. Breathe, let the head hang heavy. All right, walk the hands back underneath the shoulders, flat back, engage your core, press firmly with your feet. Inhale to rise up, hands on the hips. Point the left toes forward. Come back into your warrior two. One more time. Reverse. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, extend to side angle. Inhale, come back to warrior two. Can cartwheel the hands. Release the fingertips down towards the mat as you pivot on that back toe. Slide the left foot back to the right. Take your vinyasa if you wish, or skip it and meet us in downward facing dog. A vinyasa is that tricep push-up, the upward facing or cobra, and then coming in and everyone meeting in downward facing dog. Breathe here. All right, walk your hands back to the back of the mat, bending the knees to get there, coming back into your ragdoll. Take a moment. I'm going to come back. From your ragdoll, release your hands back down, rounded spine, roll all the way up. All right, remember when we started, we had stepped and just rotated and woken up the body. This time we're going to use that walk to play a little bit with our warrior three. You're going to lift the right leg up, hands on the hips, and you're going to hinge. And as you hinge, start to line the whole back body up. So you're going to start to extend that right leg long behind you. Extend, look down at the ground, really kick that heel back. And then as you inhale, bring it back to the one-legged Tadasana. Knee comes up, foot steps down. All right, let's do that again. You're going to draw that left knee and then pull it back. Warrior three. Feel the balance. Maybe notice if one side has a little bit more balance. Hands on the hips allows you to kind of check in with the hips, right? We tend to open up. See if you can square the hips points to face down towards the mat as that left heel extends. And inhale. We're going to do that one more time on each side. Plant that left foot. Right knee comes up. Modification of your warrior three. Just working on balancing through that standing leg, kicking the right leg back as far as you can. Now, if your toes are just hovering over the ground, that's an accomplishment, right? You're getting your foot off the ground. You're working towards it. Because we all don't just start doing things without practicing to get there. I remember my first yoga class. Oh my gosh, it was so confusing. Square the hips. I had no idea how unaware of movement I was. And even in the first 10 years of practice, I'd almost say it's still, step it out, still takes time. All right, story time's over. Let's do that again on the other side. So this time you're going to root your right foot into the ground, start to bend into the knees a little bit, start to peel that left heel up, step the left foot back, come into your high lunge, reaching the arms up, bend into the front knee, adjust that back leg, get your stance, and then left hand comes forward, right hand comes back. Maybe you stay here, maybe you release your hand back down to the back thigh, twist. Inhale, come back to arms to the T. Find your balance, scoop up into high lunge. Exhale, open up warrior two. Back foot comes down. Look back, proprioception. Check in with what are you seeing versus what are you feeling. Bend into the front knee, reverse. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, extend, side angle. Inhale, warrior two, straighten through the front leg, pivot the 10 toes to face the side of the mat. This time, interlace the fingertips behind you, if available. You can also reach down, grab that strap, and use it to assist you with the hands behind you. Squeeze the shoulders, fold forward. Once you release, use that same awareness of squeezing the torso in towards the thighs And then maybe start to lift the hands up off the lower back. And exhale, release the hands down. Flat spine as you rise back up. Just a nice little short hello. Point the right toes back to the front of the mat. Come back to your warrior two. Reverse. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, side angle. Inhale, warrior two. And cartwheel the hands, pivot on the back foot. Step back into plank. You can go straight to down dog, or you can lower in a tricep push-up. Inhale to upward facing. Exhale, downward facing. From downward facing dog, you're going to bring right knee up to right elbow and scooch it back into pigeon pose. So we can stay up with our pigeon, make it active, feel into the spaces. You can sleep with your pigeon. It's where you can use blocks with your forearms, maybe not to go as low. You can also place a pillow underneath that right hip if it's not touching down on the ground. I just like to use the leverage. And notice I'm tucking my foot in towards my groin. It does not serve my knee to move into that parallel shin. If it feels good for you and that's how you like to practice, please feel free to modify as your body needs. And then we're going to release. Come up. Extend that left leg behind. Tuck the right foot in towards the groin. Right arm reaches over towards the left leg. Breathe. And inhale, come up to center. We're just going to go ahead and rotate back. Curl the toes. Slide that right leg back. Come into your plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. Left knee pulls up to left elbow, left wrist. Scooch yourself into your pigeon here. Stay up high. Maybe allow your pigeon to become a little bit softer. I'm going to adjust. So I'm rocking onto my hip to adjust my leg. So that shin on this side has a little bit different of an angle due to some tightness. So notice that within yourself. Does it feel tighter on one side? Do you need to adjust? Are you able to get down maybe to where the hip comes down onto the mat without a pillow on one side versus the other? They're all just things to like take some awareness and make note. It might help you in other things such as weightlifting, or notice when you're shopping, do you carry all your bags in your right hand, not your left? Do you step forward on stairs with your right foot or your left? Just little things to be aware of. All right, so to come out of this, you're just gonna release onto that left hip. I'm gonna swivel around a little bit so that I'm not backwards facing you. My right leg is extended out now. The left foot is tucked in. Right hand can come down onto that ankle. It's just hanging out here. Your left arm reaches up and over, reaching towards those toes. Someday they'll meet. Breathe. And then rise up. We're already on our bums. So extend the legs out in front of you. And I'm going to use the strap across the bottoms of the feet to assist me with my forward fold. So right around the base of the ball of your foot, not on the arches and not on the toes. Use the strap to help pull the toes back towards your chest as you press the heels forward and push the knees down, bending the elbows, fold forward. And if you're not using a strap, inhale up the arms and exhale, fold the body over. Feel the stomach coming towards the thighs. Think less about your forehead reaching your toes. Excuse me. And then release. Okay. So one of the things that I had said that I like to use the strap for, and you can come into it without the strap. I'm going to show you two ways to use boat pose with a strap. So you can just use it with the strap around the feet like we just did for our forward fold. Hands on the strap, knees are bent. Pull the knees into the chest, extend the feet up to the sky, and find your balance, right? Fun. I also like to use that to control while the feet come down. All right, so another way to do it. Try never to place the buckle somewhere you can't see it. So like as it comes over, I like to place the buckle to the side where the little pulley tab is coming. Like if I need to pull it, I can pull it towards me. I can also release. And so from here, my strap is along the lower portion of my shoulder blades, and I can place my fingertips into the mat with my legs straight, find the balance of my sitting bones. And here, I know you may not trust me, but it is very relaxing just to kind of relax back in this supported boat pose. And I don't know that I would say you could take a nap in your Navasana, but you can play around with what happens when you reach the arms. And you can just hold your Navasana and do the same thing. Maybe your knees are bent like in a tabletop to accommodate tight hamstrings or hip flexors that may not be able to hold or extend the legs long. And then one of the things that's great about this is I'm kind of already set up to roll onto my back with control. So try not to like dump yourself like a roly poly. And now your feet are ready for legs up the air. If you don't have the strap, you can place the hands underneath your butt and support yourself to just do a nice little restorative legs up the air. Relax your breath. Nice and soft. All right. So go ahead and bend the left knee. And if you are not using the strap, you can just take the left knee down to the ground. We're going to open our right leg out to the side. So if you've got that strap, your foot's going to kind of slide a little bit in the loop, and you can just let it hang out to the side. If you've got your hands underneath your butt, release them. I've got a wall kind of in my way. If I turn myself a little bit more, I can. And the other thing I like to do is with the strap, play around with the rotation of the ankle and the foot. Maybe the top of your or the sole of your foot can point up towards the ceiling and you can kind of get a nice little ankle stretch. You can extend that left leg out long. Try to keep yourself rooted so you're not flipping onto your side. And then with or without the strap, you're going to take that leg up back to center and you're going to cross it over the body. Now, the nice thing with the strap is you can use that left hand and gently give the tug onto the strap. And again, you could play with your ankle rotation, pointing the sole of your foot down at the ground and maybe get a nice little stretch to the top of your foot and the side of your leg. And come back up to center. Now, if you're without the strap, you're just going to change over the legs. If you've got the strap, you're going to change the foot that's in the strap. Place the right foot down on the ground. Left foot opens up out to the side. Again, maybe play with the ankle. Flip the sole of the foot up to the ceiling. Nice little stretch. This side, I feel it a lot more than the other on the inside of the thigh. Because of my own injuries, you know. So if you're feeling things in different places, maybe that I'm not pointing out, it's not abnormal for us to all feel things a little bit differently. In fact, it is very normal. Bring yourself back up to center. If you've got that knee bent still, go ahead and extend it out and let that leg cross over. And I'm going to use a little bit of a leverage with the strap to go a little bit deeper, flip the bottom of my foot down towards the ground to stretch through that side leg a little bit more. Crunchy, oh, so crunchy, oh. Ooh. And then we're going to come back to center. And this time, allow both knees to bend. If you've got the strap around the body, you can either remove it or just let it go. Draw the knees into the chest, nice little side to side. And take a moment, extend the arms and the legs, finding your Shavasana. One final little gift that I'd love to send your way. It works for me. Try it, love it, dislike it, do what you want with it. But I personally love it. A way for me to actually find that release within Shavasana is I like to inhale in through the nose. And at the same time that I'm inhaling in, I am tightening my hands, my toes, my quads, my belly, my face. I am fisting up and tightening up. And oh, I'm just so tense. And then I exhale. God, and I just let the body relax. And I do that a couple of times. I inhale in and I tighten everything up so that I'm feeling like super tense through the entire body. And then I exhale. Let it go. And maybe try it and maybe see, how does that feel? And if it allows you to relax into this space and stay present, keep doing it. You can stay here as long as you'd like. In fact, please do. And I hope to see you again on the mat. So while you stay in your Shavasana, stay present, stay aware, and love yourself.